updated tour of our garden, June 22nd. This is the corn bed. It's really looking very good. And it's very windy, so it's probably going to have, the audio on this is going to be bad. But there's the corn. And there is, just picked that up, it was on clearance. It was a little tiny cherry tomato plant. Let's see how it does there. That's our garlic, and then further on down are all the herbs, and the herbs are looking good. It's been a really mild spring, summer so far, after that snow in May, but almost like we're a month behind and everything, but the plants are flourishing. Here's our first tomato raised bed, and let's see, everything looks very green. Down here, plenty of, this is the Roma tomatoes. This is our full-sized tomato in the cages. The Romas are not in cages. Again, just looking really great. Let's expect in a couple of weeks we'll have plenty of tomatoes. Here's our second tomato bed. Again, the plants are looking green. I think having moved them up from down at the end of the lawn where it tends to flood was the best thing we ever did. There's the, this is Roma's. Here are the full-sized tomatoes, as you can see. It's gonna, plenty of tomatoes. We've got plenty of tomatoes. This is the third tomato raised bed. And again, it's looking very good. These are staked. Thought kind of do a little experiment, see how the staked do as compared to those in the cage, if there's any difference at all. And you can see that's looking good. The basil. I try to get out here every few days just to pick off the heads. Here is a Japanese eggplant. Unusual shape. This is our more traditional eggplant. It looks like back here we may have one starting. So we're going to have some eggplants. This is our second staked tomato. There's a tomato in a cage. This is our summer squash raised bed. And we're starting to get some fruit. These, you can see. It's looking good. This is another one of the new raised beds that we put in. Here in front is the edamame. It's an experiment. We had quite a problem with bean beetles, and we are trying to battle them without resorting to pesticides, and I think we're kind of making a rebound. Here's the cucumbers. And they're looking really good. Climbing wonderfully. These here are our green beans. These are bush beans. More cucumbers. I'd say it's really pretty amazing. And you can see we are battling the cucumber. Never thought I'd squash bugs with my hands. I've come a long way from the city, but that's what we're trying to do, trying to take care of it by hand. More bush beans. These were cucumbers that we started from, this is direct seeded cucumbers. These were plants that we put in. Cherries. The dogs enjoy the shade under the cherry tree. This is our cherries. I had a net over it, and I'm kind of tired of battling it. The net was too small, and the wind keeps blowing it off. But as you can see, we do have cherries. The problem, of course, is if we can get enough cherries before the birds get them. Kind of hoping that we can. I'd like to at least get a pie out of it. We are also battling with the birds on this tree with the fruit. Hoping we get at least enough for a pie, maybe some fresh eating. There, that's the net that keeps blowing off. Even though I weighed it down with chains, but Kansas wins. This is our winter squash bed. And it is also looking very good. You can see it's a different kind of winter squash. I have acorn squash growing with the corn. This is these little round, they'll be black squash. I think they'll be good. Herbs. This is the the onions that I grew in between, and as you can see, it's starting to look good. We added some more compost bins. I bought 2 more. We have this old, very old one made out of wire. That's our first compost bin. And just not doing as well. These black ones that we bought, they're doing great. Sweet potatoes. This is the sweet potato bed. I have 2 different types of sweet potatoes. They're supposed to be bush sweet potatoes. And again, around the edge, I have red onions growing as an experiment there in each one of those holes. This is a crimson sweet watermelon plant, and it's looking very good too. And that is a group of chive plants that we've had, and they come up every year. And this is a dill, just kind of self-seeding. We don't even plant them anymore, they just come up. This is what we are calling the Juan cantaloupe. These were seeds that my late, from the plants that my late brother-in-law grew, and they're taking off now with the heat. We don't have any female, no fruits yet, but I imagine it won't be long before we do. This is all by itself in one bed. This was our rain garden. The purpose of this was to help with the runoff. Right now I'm not weeding it at all, so it looks really rough. I'm waiting to see what comes up. I just threw all kinds of native seed in here. Also planted some plants. I'm letting them, as you can see, I'm letting them self-seed. So I'm hoping eventually this will fill in. I also put some, we were walking and we found some native grass heads, and so I threw them in here too. Once I see what's coming up and I can distinguish between weed and what I want, then I'll probably do some more weeding, or at least that's the plan. These are my pole beans, and it's going to be so pretty. The flower is going to be red, and of course the wind is really whipping this around right now, but they will eventually crawl up. They'll twine up the poles. This is the first of the pepper beds. We have 3, and it started getting hot. It was 99 degrees yesterday, and that's certainly hot pepper weather. This is when they take off, when other plants kind of wilt. My peppers, our peppers do great. As you can see, many different varieties of peppers. One thing we do eat a lot of, these are cute. These are called Cajun bells. They're tiny bells. I have just a tiny bit of a zap to them, not much. They're fun for cooking. This is our second bed of peppers, and this is the one that we had radishes in between, and we're probably not ever going to do that again. We're thinking that for some reason the radishes stunted a bit of the peppers. They were very, very yellow, and we've had to give them all kinds of fertilizer teas. They're doing better, you can see there. It was a one-year experiment. We're not going to do the radish thing again. All different types. This is the third hot pepper bed. Some of these have not started to give yet, but here you can see there's some in here. Excuse me, there's some here and here. There's a little red hot cherry that will pickle. And this right here. Right now it is steamy hot. I'm sweating out here right now, just doing this little walk. So the peppers are going to be loving it. This is our potato experiment. We're doing potatoes under straw. We have tried to resist the urge to put our hands underneath there and see what they look like. Red cabbage, green cabbage, and their green cabbage is looking wonderful, but whenever you go organic, it's just not going to be pretty. We have holes, but we're trying to fight the good fight. We're not doing so much weeding as we've been getting out here and trying to pick off the bugs by hand. So I guess for the sake of going organic, we may have more weeds than we'd like. This is the cauliflower. It's looking good. Broccoli was right here, but it's gone. We ate it. It was wonderful. Great broccoli. We're going to put a fall crop in. These are the little miniature cabbages. But when they're done, this bed, we'll turn this back over by hand, and we'll probably use this to put some fall crops in, which is what we've never put fall crops in before. We're going to try it this year, though. Okay. Here you can see these are our blackberries. And yeah, it's kind of weedy. I'm using straw. These here in this bed, these are the thorn blackberries. And when this bed fills in, I really was very rough on it. I mowed everything down this spring. I wasn't expecting to get any fruit at all. I'll get a nice big crop next year. I did get some fruit. I love the flavor of the thorn ones. To me, they're superior to the flavor of the thornless. I have both varieties. But, okay. This was our peach tree that didn't get any fruit. This was the one that was affected most by that May 1st snowstorm. Grapes are looking amazing. I think the last update I had done, it was just little flowers. Now we have the actual fruit. They're looking great. There's several different varieties of grapes here. Grapes. Okay. Over here is my husband is starting to lay down the foundation for a shed. He's gonna put a shed here. He was given a shed by my daughter and my future son-in-law. He's so excited about it. In fact, that's where he is right now. He's getting the rest of he's going to put a wooden frame floor and then I guess put plywood on top of it. And then on top of that, it's going to go the shed, but that's going to go here. This is another one of my wild flower beds. Started last year. Didn't add anything this year. This is all self-seed. I just let it go to seed and kind of look to see what's going to pop up. My absolute favorite. Love sunflowers. Live in the perfect state. But that's all this is. Over here, this whole thing started as one plant that a neighbor gave us. And if I remember, it was yellow. And what's so unusual is we don't have any others. This is it. Just that we had just the one yellow plant. And from that yellow plant, just through the seeds, I let it self-seed. We have a dark pink, a light pink. We have the yellow, another kind of a pink, almost like a maroonish color here. So I just find that fascinating. It's all different colors from that one plant, since it's all self-seed. This is the thornless blackberries, and as you can see, it's huge. It's way over my head, and I know I'm not the tallest person in the world, but it's probably close to 6 foot. And we've got fruit on there. Hopefully we'll have enough to make a blackberry crumble. And be here some more that are coming up down here. I'm kind of letting them battle it out. I probably need to be a little more vigilant about getting the flowers away from the bushes, but I'm not. I just kind of like the look of it. So here we go. This is what I did last time. Here's our panoramic view. On a typically windy June summer's day. Supposed to hit 99 degrees here in Kansas. Update in 1 month.